Attention listeners, ahead are spoilers.
Hello, and welcome to the Movie Trap. My name is Russell Carlson, and with me are my helpful elves, Chris Boroff.
I can't remember any lines from the movie all of a sudden. Merry Christmas.
Okay. And I'm also joined by my other, shall we say, our Ebenezer Scrooge, who finds the meaning of Christmas, Zach Powers.
Just pretend I've screamed. I did an annoying scream.
Yeah. Okay. While running through a revolving door, you know, they have toilets, but revolving doors, it's way out there. Indoor plumbing, they've worked out. Revolving doors, they're not quite there yet in the elf culture. Anyway, if you haven't guessed right now, on the Movie Trap, this is our holiday special where previously we all chose movies on a six-sided dice. We then rolled that six-sided dice, and unfortunately, I kind of slipped the poison pill with two poison pills with this time, and one of mine unfortunately got picked, and that is what you are here today, and that is Elf. If you're out there in the ether, I doubt you haven't seen it unless your name is Chris Boroff.
Yep, this was the
first time at the rodeo. Right.
Yeah.
I
probably had seen most of it in meme form or in GIF form. I hadn't actually seen everything put together, so I'd seen it as bits and pieces floating in the air with no reference, and now it's all together.
Sure. I'm sure you passed it by while changing your cable menu many times, or it's been on at any family gathering, or just turn it on right now. It's probably on right now on your TV. So yeah, this is our sort of special holiday episode. We don't have any points. There's no voting or anything. It's just sort of a fun thing that we like to do, except we had to do this movie. So with that in mind, Zach Powers, I'm sorry, buddy. Why don't you go ahead and roll up your sleeve and sit down on Papa's lap and give us the tale of Jon Favreau's Elf.
Elf is a 2003 Christmas comedy movie. It is directed by Jon Favreau in his pre-MCU days. And it stars Will Ferrell, Zooey Deschanel, Mary Steenburgen, and a cadre of old men, classic old men character
who still
actors.
Have it.
Yeah, James Caan, Ed Asner, and Bob Newhart. Of those three, only Bob Newhart still has it, as the other two are dead. But it involves the story of Buddy, a human whose life we are told by Papa Elf Bob Newhart. He one Christmas Eve snuck into Santa's sack and came back to the North Pole, and I guess they could or couldn't figure out where he came from, but they decided not to take him back, whatever the case.
This is before we chipped babies, we couldn't just
At some point they figure out where he is. I can't remember how they determine who his parents are, but they figure it out somehow. They're mad. It seems like they should know all the kids, right? Santa should know who every kid is.
It is sort of his superpower, right?
Yeah, so I don't know why this baby didn't. They just, we should bring it back.
I guess we'll keep him.
Wasn't it because he was in an orphanage? They weren't going to be able to bring him back to the orphanage?
Oh, yeah, he was from an orphanage.
That's right.
Okay.
So it's he'd already been returned once, so it was you couldn't just rehome him at that point. You're kind of stuck with him.
Got it. That's right. He's in an orphanage because his dad didn't know he was born, and his mom passed away in childbirth, I believe. Regardless, the elves decide to raise him as one of their own. He is obviously somewhat strange as being much taller and much less productive than the other elves, though by human standards, still extremely productive. By elf standards, he is exceedingly slow. Eventually, as an adult, he discovers that he is a human when he overhears two other elves talking about it, and Papa Elf has to break the news that, yeah, you're a human. These are your parents. Mama's dead. Daddy lives in New York City. And also, while we're at it, let's talk about the fact that Santa magic is dying and he has to use thermonuclear boosters or something to fly around the world because nobody believes in Christmas no more. So we got all these problems. So Buddy decides, I'm going to strike out on my own. I'm going to see the world. I'm going to discover my own people. And I'm going to go to New York City and meet my papa. So he walks from the North Pole to New York City, which goes about it pretty well, I guess, and meets up with his father, who it turns out is a bit of a classic Scrooge who works in children's publishing and cuts corners on his books, even though it makes children confused about the plots. And he first assumes that Buddy is a Christmas, telegram prank, but eventually just has him ejected when he keeps repeating that he's his son. Buddy walks into a gimbal store and is immediately kind of given a job. They just assume he works there. I don't know if there's ever paperwork involved, but he just kind of starts working there under dubious pretenses. I don't think he has a social security number, so I don't know how any of it works.
He's your typical illegal immigrant.
Yeah, exactly. He meets Jovi, Zoe Deschanel, who is another employee at the Gimbals, though much less enthusiastic about the job. And he's sort of smitten with her. He decorates the store, and when Santa comes the next day, he gets into a fight with him because it's not Ed Asner, it's some fake. And he gets in a fight with fake Santa and eventually is fired for this, as well as arrested. But shortly thereafter, he gets a DNA test after Walter bails him out of jail, and it's confirmed. Yep, he's your son. You are the father. And Buddy ends up coming home with Walter to meet his stepmother, Emily, with Mary Steenburgen, and his half-brother, Michael, who is a child, young teen. And though Walter and Michael are kind of unnerved by him, Emily kind of enjoys his presence, his spirit, and decides that they should keep him until he sort of recovers and comes back to sanity. They all obviously assume he is insane because he keeps saying he's an elf from the North Pole.
Now that would just be a whole internet subculture. They'd just be like, "Oh, you're one of those." Okay.
He becomes
Never
close
been on
with
that Reddit page.
He becomes close with Michael after taking on some bullies, and eventually asks Jovi out on a date. It's previously Jovi and he had like a thing. He's saying she was in the showers because her water got shut off at work or something, and they sang the Christmas song that conservatives say
everybody loves.
Yeah, the ones that mostly it's famous for conservatives saying it's canceled more so than people genuinely being like, this song is the end of the world or whatever. It's one of those things where I think truly conservatives are the ones who freak out about the idea that like 4 people were like, these lyrics are problematic.
Right. It's not enough. It's not enough that Christmas, they already won that battle, right?
Yeah.
They have to have everything preserved from 1950 onward. Nothing can change.
So it's Cold Outside song is what they're singing, right?
Maybe it's
okay.
cold.
Yeah, baby, it's
from
cold.
Guys
Okay.
and Dolls.
So yeah, we're gonna get into it later, but man, like, what sort of a department store has a shower?
A shower. I have no idea. That's weird.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a weird one on me. I've never been to a mall that has a shower. I mean, other than like if it was.
I've
like,
gone to
selling
gyms
showers.
that didn't have a shower.
Yeah,
like
well,
places where you
wow.
would need to wash off.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
crazy to me.
That's
Gyms
a
definitely
cheap-ass
need
gym.
a shower.
That's
Yeah,
a
you
cheap gym, dude.
spring the extra $5 for a real fucking.
Right.
I think you're working in like somebody like found an empty building and put some free weights in there. Chris. Like I don't know where you're going.
Even if it's just a hose outside, just like letting.
I don't know. It was a thing in Australia. I ran past it. They had a whole thing set up. It was a gym, no showers, and my camera turned off. That's how shocked my computer was.
That's
yeah. Anyway, yeah, weird. Showers.
Anyway, showers in department stores. It's magic, all right? But, anyway.
Buddy's dad's company is not doing well. Their books aren't selling as much as they should, and his job's a little bit in trouble, so they bring in the heavy hitter, Miles Finch, played by Peter Dinklage, who is, the biggest name in children's book selling, to do a pitch meeting. But Buddy, who has taken a job in the mailroom for the time being, ends up showing up during the pitch and believes that he is a dwarf and insults him in a number of ways. It
should also be said, Miles is like a huge asshole. He's like
he's arrogant,
like, big shot guy. Yeah,
he's arrogant about his abilities.
Yeah,
but
he's pretentious
I think,
about nonsense, though. It's very funny. It's very much the type. Yeah, he's a diva.
Yeah.
Though he is also pretty reasonably angry at this man mocking him for being a little person. So I think the movie wants to have it both ways with this character a little bit. But regardless, it blows the deal, and Walter gets, is angered, disowns Buddy. Buddy's like, he leaves a heartfelt note at the apartment and decides to leave. They discover that Dinklage left his notebook full of children's books ideas, which could save their company. And so they do a pitch meeting with the big boss. But as the pitch meeting is going on, Michael shows up and says, Buddy's run away. We don't know where he is. And if you love this family, you'll ditch the pitch meeting and come look for Buddy. In New York City, and just hope you find him.
Here's where the movie really gets good, guys. This is where it really starts to get good.
He does. He ditches the meeting and loses his job and goes to search for Buddy instead. They do find him pretty quickly in Central Park, where Santa's sleigh has crashed because his thermonuclear jet isn't working, and Christmas spirit is dead. So they have to fix the engine, but they have also sent out the Central Park Rangers after Santa, I guess, because there's a disturbance in the park. Something fell in the park, and the Central Park Rangers are like. They're essentially the SS, I guess.
Oh, you mean the NYPD?
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes from 0 to they're going to be the Gestapo pretty quick.
Yeah, it seems like they're going to straight it like
basically like they're trying to be like the ring wraiths from fucking Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Ridiculous. Yeah.
They're apparently angry that Santa put them on the naughty list.
Because they know this. They've got an in on that list.
Yeah, they're the only people who believe in Santa and are aware. Are aware that they're on the naughty list. So, Walter and Michael try to distract him. Buddy tries to fix the thermonuclear jet thing. And Jovi, realizing they need Christmas spirit, overcomes her stage fright and begins to sing at the crowd gathered round the live news report happening just outside of Central Park. And the singing, eventually, with even Walter joining in, gives the sleigh enough power to boost without the engine and escape the Rangers, saving Christmas. By the next year, Buddy has written a book about his adventures as a real-life elf in New York City, and it's a big seller. Walter is the one who distributes it and publishes it in his own company. Buddy has married Jovi and already had a kid, and they go up to the North Pole and visit, and, Jovi has to wear weird elf clothes when she goes.
It's like, like if she had to go to the Middle East. It's that sort of thing.
That's right, yeah.
So that's basically the story of Elf.
Oh my god. Well, Wow. So I'd never seen this before, and seeing it as an old man, not seeing it when I was younger, I felt a lot for James Caan in this movie. Like, for everybody else, it seems like he's the only one who's playing it pretty much completely straight for the whole time, because he has to be a straight man. But it also is, for me, it was interesting looking at it from his perspective of, like, suddenly having an adult child who's completely infantilized, incapable of managing himself in the real world. He's been reintroduced into your life. Your wife is like, yeah, bring this obviously mentally deranged person into our house and start, keeping him around actively. And, like, for me, there is, like, a really dark, grim drama just right beneath the surface of all the happy, like, Christmas
You're saying
stuff.
you want to do the Elf remake where he is not an elf, he is a crazy person, and
Right.
James
Basically.
Caan is the protagonist, and he's the only one who's like, this is a problem.
I mean, this is basically that is kind of what happened. I mean, the mirrored reaction to the way that James Caan coddles Peter Dinklage's character and the way he treats Buddy is kind of, that's not, I am not here to defend this movie. I have not come to praise this movie. I have come to bury it. But I will say that reaction between Tyrion and James Caan, or Sonny Corleone, is kind of interesting, because the way you bring it up of having to infantilize somebody, he's having to do the same thing to coddle Miles Teller. I mean, not Miles Teller, Jesus, he's an actor. The guy, Tyrion. Like, because he like, there's a scene in the movie where, like, he calls on the phone, it's like on speakerphone, and he has all these list of demands, and like the car has to be at exactly 72 degrees, and like he's just this total guy who is used to being coddled, right? Buddy's kind of the same way. So he's used to being coddled too. He just doesn't know what it's like in the real world. Again, knows how to use toilets, doesn't quite get the revolving door. I don't know. But I get you that, like, James Caan's the most, like, playing it straight, other than Bob Newhart, but that's sort of his shtick, right? That's what he does, is he plays the straight man.
Well, I think this is intended for, like, families to take kids to. Like, it's
Yeah,
not particularly...
It certainly is intended for family, yeah.
a lot of it doesn't hold up to critical theory, like, too
And it's
well.
worth noting, one of the strange thing, I mean, the thing is, Buddy is supposed to be about 30. It's worth noting, Will Ferrell was like 35 or 36 when he made this, and always has looked older than he is, so he reads like 40 to me.
True.
Yes.
True.
Which is also, like, where I watched it with Shannon, and she was like, the age difference relationship, and then we looked up their ages, and it wasn't as bad as we thought. It's just because Will Ferrell always looked so much older. Yeah.
How big of a difference was it? Because it seems
It's
like
still
she's a
like
baby.
It's still like 10-ish years, but like we thought it was closer to 15 or something.
I don't know. But that whole thing gives me the creeps just in general, because it's also like, even if you believe it from the character standpoint, like, this lady for some reason is fine being with a man who is plainly, like, so removed from modern life and has been held back for so long. Like, he would be a nightmare to be around. Like, he wouldn't know how to clean his own clothes. He obviously has severe, like...
But he's house trained. That's my point. He knows how to use the toilet.
He's going to have diabetes because he's just been eating, like, sugar his whole life. I'm surprised he has teeth.
That's right.
Yeah, it is interesting. Like, there are certain things about elf culture that would kill a human being.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's interesting. This is another real life elf. Another perspective is the fact that the being raised in this elf culture would be certainly unintentional child abuse. His back would be destroyed from a lifetime of hunching.
So maybe Will Ferrell
the child labor
kind of works, because that guy, he's like a kid from like the early 1910s or whatever, where they're already like had 5 jobs and smoked 5 packs a day or whatever when they're 10 years old.
Well, it's weird. It's like the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, like where it had the mole women, but in his case, rather than being held in like a bunker, he's been held at the North Pole, and everyone's told him that he's like an elf and has accepted him no matter how strange his behavior is. I imagine that like he would be like a complete Caligula child. Like he's been coddled to his whole life and no one's ever held him accountable for anything. So like his sense of other people's property is probably all jacked up because all he's done all day long is build toys and then give them away.
I'm not like, look, there's some funny bits in this movie that really like when you were bringing that up, I immediately reminded myself of like, where did you get the wood? Oh, from the entertainment center. Just in shamble. I'm like, okay, that's pretty funny. There's a lot of good moments, and apparently because like the IMDb page goes in a lot to like how this script was kind of, it's been kicked around since like '93 apparently, and it looks like it. It feels like it. It's very much it's a Christmas movie. What do you want? You know, somebody's grumpy and somebody's not, and that person convinces to not be grumpy. Yay, Christmas. That's you know, like pretty by the numbers. But I will say that watching it now, because I've seen this before. I remember when it came out. Like I remember like even Richard was like, oh, this is actually like a good Christmas movie or whatever. And I watched it when it came out on DVD and I was like, yeah, all right, it's a pretty good Christmas movie, I guess. And now I watch it now, and maybe it is just because I'm older, or maybe it's just because it's been played out so fucking much that I find this movie really grating. That it's kind of, I mean, I really had a hard time getting through this movie all the way through in one sitting, because like it I don't know why, but like it's not even that Will Ferrell's that outrageous in this one. I think like considering the time period, he's kind of underplayed in some moments when I felt like he really could have taken it to 10. Now, again, there are moments in this movie where he's fucking maximum Will Ferrell, but there's some tenderness, but I definitely was not as charmed by Buddy as I was back in 2000. I definitely I wasn't as charmed as I was now. I mostly I was kind of with you, Borif. I'm kind of like, well, you know, James Caan's got a point, you know. Grown man now. You know.
It was funny because it like, for me, this movie kind of flipped a little bit. Like, I'm fine with it. Like, I was able to watch it fairly, you know, we're watching it critically for this, but I could watch it fairly non-critically, turn off that part of my brain and just be like, okay, it's gonna be silly stuff. But back when this came out, I could not stand Will Ferrell. Like, I hated him.
I remember those days, buddy. I remember those days.
He just
Big guy, don't you worry.
drove me nuts. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, watching it now, like, it doesn't bother me that much. I don't know if it's that I've aged or if the comedy has just like lost the ability to offend me anymore. But I just was able to sit there and go, okay, no, it's fine. It's fine. He's running around like an autistic man. He's obviously been coded as like someone who has 90% of an understanding of the world around him, but is missing the critical 10% that would help him actually move around in the world. But, you know, I was fine. It was a fine Christmas movie.
Fish out of water. I guess I'll. So, I guess I can talk about my history with this movie, since both you guys said your feelings then and now. I also was a living person at the time this came out.
I remember you back then.
No, we had not yet met at that point.
Not yet. Oh, about a year or two off. Yeah.
3 or 4, something like that. This movie was one, some people, I know for some people, like my girlfriend's mom in particular, and when she was younger, I think more so than now, my girlfriend, like this was a big annual one. Like for some people, this is one of the top 2 or 3 Christmas movies like ever. It's in like their holy marathon every year. For me, at the time it came out and now, both cases, I was like, it's okay. Like, that's kind of how I felt about it then. It's how I feel about it now. Like, I don't hate it. It's fine. I can watch it. There are worse ones. It's like better than the Santa Claus, I think. But it's not like great.
As far because this is more or less like a Christmas fantasy, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like transpose. This isn't like Love Actually or whatever, where like people discover the meaning of Christmas through a fucking Mariah Carey song or whatever. Has like actual, like, Santa's real and exists and does all the things, and the real world exists too. It's kind of hard. Like Miracle on 34th Street's kind of like the real starting pistol to this one, like the first one back in the day. Even though I prefer the David Attenborough version. People can tweet me on.
Oh my god! If we ever do the original Miracle on 34th Street, that movie is the most cynical, capitalistic piece of... I hate that fucking movie.
Yeah. Like I said, even the remake, like, it kind of fixes
that's
it
a Christmas movie for libertarians. That's a Christmas movie for libertarians and conservatives.
Right.
Like people always ask that every year. What do conservatives watch? It should be the original Miracle on 34th Street.
There you go. That's it. Right. You don't even need Jesus. So like I think that for this movie, like, and I get it. I get why it's up there for people, because there is a lot to kind of like, and at the time there wasn't a lot of decent Christmas fantasies that were worth repeating. So in that respect, I sort of get it, where it kind of had that, but boy, I really had a hard time getting it through this time. Like, maybe it's just because, and I wonder does it have the Christmas Story effect, where it's just like on all the time and it's just driven into your brain? Does it have that effect, do you think?
I mean, speaking of that,
I haven't seen it that many times, but like I said, I initially thought this was just an okay movie. Like, I've never been over the moon for it. And to the point earlier, like, about James Caan, I also think that and we were talking about the age gap thing, like, the James Caan plot works much better for me than the Zooey Deschanel plot, which is a lot more tacked on and like kind of empty. I feel like the Caan plot, and in part because he's great. He's maybe the strongest element of the entire movie. Like, he's the one who has to kind of like learn about the season and whatever, is definitely the highlight of the thing. And him coming around on Buddy is like the emotional turning point, much more so than like the romantic relationship. But yeah, like, that element's the strongest element, but it's fine. It doesn't blow my mind.
It's also like not, I mean, outside of the Baby It's Cold Outside song, there's nothing that's immediately offensive about this movie. I want to be clear about that.
I think I think you could make a strong argument for that Peter Dinklage scene, because the movie wants us to laugh.
Yeah, that's right. Right. It wants us to be like, why is this guy so bent out of shape? Which, you gotta hand it to Dinklage. And also,
Dinklage hated making this movie.
I don't blame
he's been on the record being like, I really
didn't
enjoy my time making Elf.
I can't blame him at all. There's times where early in his career, I'm thinking of Living in Oblivion. That's the moment where I really thought that Dinklage got to, like, let it out. And
I don't even have fucking dwarfs in my dreams.
Right? Yeah, exactly. A great rant. I mean, like, all time. That's no wonder he's fucking Tyrion Lannister.
Yeah.
Was he
big booster club of Tyrion.
Or The Station Agent? Have you ever seen that?
I love that movie.
Yeah.
I think we might have done that on the old on the former version of the show.
We didn't, but what we did do was All the Real Girls, which this came out in the same year, I think, for Zooey Deschanel.
Oh, okay, right.
So, like, this was, and that was the same year as The Station Agent, too. So, like, both Dinklage and Deschanel were kind of up-and-comers in the indie scene. And you got to hand it to Favreau to at least get, like, a studio to, like, sign off to, like, people getting work like that. I mean, apparently, I read this in the IMDb page, apparently, like, Favreau's original idea for Papa Elf was Chevy Chase. And Will Ferrell immediately vetoed that idea. Wise choice, Will Ferrell. Wise choice indeed.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I've got such an affinity for Bob Newhart. I could watch that guy read the phone book and I'll laugh my ass off, just because I think he's just great.
Well, something you said there actually triggered something I wrote down. Peter Billingsley from A Christmas Story is in this movie as one of the elves.
Yeah,
he's
that's
like
hilarious.
one of the main elf. It was just like that trivia that always comes up. They just did a new version of A Christmas Story, or they did like a sequel that came out. But there's also a hot young Amy Sedaris in this, which I didn't anticipate at all.
And was very funny too. Had a very funny phone conversation. Like, it was about like, well, I've never declawed cats before, but I'll give it a try. You've got 8 of them? All right, well, just bring them by the camper. Like that's there was a total throwaway line. I almost wonder if it was Amy Sedaris herself who just came up with that shit.
I have to imagine it might
shock
have been
me at all.
Might have been.
Yeah, so that totally throwaway line, but that one caught me. I caught it this time. I've never caught it before in my previous rewatches, but I caught it this time, and it was pretty goddamn funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I you know, like, I do think that, and especially when you consider like the trajectory of Favreau, where he's gone from here, where not only has he MCU, but now he's the only thing that Star Wars fanboys give a shit about besides Dave Filoni or whatever, or the Andor guy. Like that, it's so you gotta hand it to Favreau for that. That this movie pretty much got him Iron Man. Like I'm fully convinced that the success of this movie, and also Will Ferrell was box office gold at this point. I mean, like,
well, there you go.
Put him in a movie, like they're gonna make their money.
I think he did Zathura after this too, didn't he?
So you can theoretically blame this movie for the MCU and take that whether you think that's a great thing or a terrible thing.
That's right. I mean, just again, certainly, that's certainly true. And you have to take Iron Man too.
Of the fantasy Christmas movies, how many others are there? Because the only other one I can really think of is like Santa Claus the movie,
the classic
which
one's
is
A
essentially
Christmas
the
Carol,
same.
right?
Well,
like that's
okay.
Well, yeah, like you have to define the term. Like, are you talking about
Stuff where like Santa Claus is real?
Movies where magic?
Oh,
Well,
okay, all right.
The Santa Claus, which we've mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah.
On 34th Street. That's another one.
Kind of. I think it's debatable. That's one of the ones where, like, is there really supernatural shit? Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
Like,
I believe, Zach. I believe.
Good for you. Yeah, so there's a good one that's a little unconventional because it's not quite the real world. But this is in my pantheon of like all timers, and it's relatively new. Is Klaus is
I knew
one
you were gonna say
where
that. That movie
like
rocks. That movie's
great. That movie is genuinely genuinely
Klaus on
spectacular.
Netflix, dude, watch
I
that
actually
movie. That movie's
I was
amazing.
like, oh, I should have put that on my list this year after we did our roll off.
Well,
See, I thought after watching this movie, I could have put fucking any other movie other than this movie. I really could have. Like, I'm sorry, guys. Again, 3 in a row. I'm really not doing good this time. That where like I'm not even enjoying it. But like as far as Christmas fantasies where like Santa Claus is like a real thing that like exists. I mean, obviously my
Polar
favorite Santa Claus.
Express?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking of it because the only other one I could think of was Santa Claus, the movie from 1985, starring Dudley Moore, John Lithgow. The thing is that Dudley Moore plays an elf that comes to New York who winds up working at a company that is selling Christmas shit.
What?
And the whole thing is that he comes in and helps the CEO discover the joy of Christmas again after he's forgotten Christmas. It sounds like it's the same
What a
story,
ripoff.
guys.
What a ripoff.
Sounds like the same story.
What a ripoff.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but yes, to like obviously like if you're specifically looking for movies where like Santa is part of the action, that limits it. But like there's good like besides that, yeah, for sure. You know, It's a Wonderful Life or A Christmas Carol are both have
Fantasies,
supernatural
for
things.
sure.
Like there
Yeah,
is supernatural elements to both of those films.
Hell, even the fucking Nutcracker does. Like it yeah, I mean, and I think the when you have Santa enter into anything, you've got like other than like the Rankin and Bass stuff, like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the Snow Miser and the Heat Miser and all them folk back in the 60s.
All those misers.
Yeah, all those misers. That's right. I did like that. Like all of Santa's Workshop is basically just the sets from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and they just shamelessly ripped it off because it's public domain now, and they don't give a shit. They're just like, whatever, sue me. And that I respect that, but the problem is that it's just gray boards, right? Like that's Santa's Workshop. It's not this magic. It's just like gray boards on a background. I'm like, yeah, that's because it was, you know. But this movie, this too many times, and I even caught it more this time probably ever, is that most Christmas movies are trying to be like other Christmas movies. And I always thought this movie was different. I don't anymore. This movie is every other goddamn Christmas movie there is out there. It's really not.
It's fairly saccharine with occasional spice. It's not gonna like rewrite the rules of Christmas for you.
See, I something I guess I've sort of learned over the years about myself in terms of my Christmas movie preferences is I don't, and a lot of people do go in for these. For me, things that are just full-fledged or nearly entirely comedy for Christmas movies are never my favorites. Like I can like them okay. Like obviously this Christmas Vacation, Christmas Story. Like I think there's things to enjoy about each of those movies. My absolute favorites gotta have a little more like genuine meat on the bone. Like it's gotta have somebody actually like it's gotta have like some serious like heartwarmingness to it. And I think this movie is too silly to get there. It like obviously I think It's a Wonderful Life obviously gets there big time. I think Klaus does it. And like Muppet Christmas Carol, I think pulls it off just fine. Like
even the George
Christmas Carol has it in there. Like it's Christmas Carol, you know what I mean? Like
the George
it's a good story.
Scott Christmas Carol.
It turns out Christmas Carol is a pretty good story. Like,
I don't know. Does he know what he's doing? I don't know.
I like Scrooge.
Scrooge is good too. I've always been a fan of Scrooge.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
I might try.
Is that big speech at the end, and the speech at the end is not like a big comedy speech. It's it's like pretty heartfelt. You can't make Christmas Carol a full comedy just because that Ghost of Christmas Future thing. Like you can't really like make that full comedy.
Even Disney, when they did the Christmas Carol with like Scrooge McDuck, where Scrooge McDuck first shows up, even they kept true to the Dickens thing, where it's just like, nope, Christmas Future, you're dead now. Like that's, and I remember watching that as a very, very young child, being very creeped out by that. But that's why I thought that this, I don't know. I just remember this movie coming out and everybody saying, and me, myself, even kind of agreeing with this idea that this is the next best Christmas movie. And don't necessarily agree anymore. Now, I don't know what could take its place. I'm not here to prop anything up either, because I don't know. But like, as far as something that came out in the early aughts, that's what this movie is. It's very much Will Ferrell, Saturday Night Live, like, the Tina Fey kind of humor, fish out of water kind of thing. They're very good at it. And Will Ferrell, to his credit, gets paid for what he does. He apparently didn't even like to do this movie. They apparently offered him like $9 million to do a sequel to this, and he said no. So respect to him. I'll give him props. That like, you know what? Don't need a sequel. What do we need? What do we don't need learn? A sequel. Like, no. Like they put a sequel to Enchanted. Why? Like,
but
I think we know. I think we
Let me ask you this, Russell. When did they ask him to do a sequel? Was it shortly after the movie came out?
2014, apparently. They asked.
Okay, so it was a while after the movie came out. Yeah. Okay, because I was going to say like, Ferrell's star power is obviously a lot less than it was in 2003. He's got a lot more misses than hits these days, in my opinion. So I was like, if they asked him in like 2005, I could see him saying no, and then in 2022 being like, actually, maybe.
Right. Yeah. No, you're going to offer me how much? How's that $9 million looking still?
Man,
I want to make Joaquin Phoenix Joker money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know. I think I might do a palate cleanser after this one because it is a little saccharine. I might go and see if I can find the R-rated Krampus. Maybe give that one a shot.
Is there an R-rated cut of that?
Yeah, there is. I think you can get it. It's R-rated because everything was like, everything was cut down to be PG-13 for it. But I believe there is an R-rated cut that you can buy and watch. But yeah,
I think as a palate cleanser, you could probably watch, I don't know, any Christmas movie, because I'm not even lying. Like, so like Santa Claus. Okay, it's not a Christmas. I mean, okay.
I don't think.
All right.
I don't think you could stretch the thing to a Christmas tree.
That's
it's just in a cold environment.
It's the fact that Christmas spirit gets into all of us.
Great.
Okay, very good. That's great. Well, next holiday season, big guy, you can choose Black Christmas and The Thing, and we'll probably allow it. I mean, I was this close to picking Hudsucker Proxy. But I'm like, well, that's really a New Year's movie. It's not really a Christmas movie.
Yeah, you could get away with The Apartment because there is a Christmas party in that.
Sure. Sure.
Even though that's more of a New Year's movie.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah. Anyway, I think that one of the things that I was, because I did want to talk about this in 2003, that there's not a lot of CGI in this movie, even though it's very realistic. The size differential between Buddy and the elves and stuff, and it was this New Line Cinema's new thing, right? Fucking Lord of the Rings and stuff, forced perspective. Love all that, and it still looks good. So, like, people should do that more.
Yeah, the practical effects are great. I don't know. I don't know if there's more to pull out of this movie other than that, guys.
Not really.
Yeah, they got they pulled the Lord of the Rings.
The lame.
Did they do the Lord of the Rings forced perspective? I don't know. I guess for some of the shots that was impossible.
It's New Line Cinema, so like that's the same studio that did Lord of the Rings, and I think Fellowship of the Ring came out 2003 came out this year or the year before. I can't remember.
It would have been 2003, I believe. I think
Fellowship came out 2002 or
Return of the King. I think was 2003.
Yeah,
the first one was out for
Return
sure.
of the King was 2004.
Okay,
anyway,
then this would have been Two Towers.
Yeah. So anyway, Forced Perspective was New Line Cinema's bread and butter, and it's amazing that they had this in their pocket, considering how much money they were raking in on Lord of the Rings. Anyway, I just thought that was. I appreciate the notion to do it that way rather than just trying to do a CGI thing in 2003 because it would look like total ass. Probably look okay now, but back in then it would look like crap.
Now they would shoot it on an LED wall, and that would be the entire set for the entire movie.
That's right. Yeah. They'd call it. They'd have an ominous word for it, like the Vault. Or like the Supermax or some shit, like any behind the scenes stuff you watch at Disney or Warner Brothers nowadays. It's just like, oh, this is our massive like LED structure or whatever, and they give it some ominous name like like
the Void
the
or the Volume.
Yeah, right, the Volume, that kind of stuff, Which is, I'm impressed with the technology. Don't get me wrong, but they don't have to make it seem like it's a horror movie you're walking into. Anyway. I don't know. But the only thing I did want to bring up before we wrap up is the third act with the Central Park Rangers, because I thought a bold choice to just like throw in menace when you need it, and rather than doing cops, because we couldn't do that in 2003, we'll just make up some Gestapo like
horse
super
organization
secret agent that watches Central Park. Like, what? Have you been to Central Park? That is, every time I walk into Central Park, I don't necessarily feel like I'm living in a police fucking state. Anyway, it's stupid. But then again, I'm a white guy from the Midwest, so what do you expect?
Yeah, that one was pretty plainly like a third act was dragging. We need to put a ticking clock on this, or give it a sense of urgency.
They needed a bad guy.
So they had to pick a fake one, that's obviously a retooled ending where someone's like, I don't know, just put something in there. They're angry with Santa. Go for it.
We got butts in the seats. They expect a horse chase, okay? This is New Line Cinema, all right? I need horses jumping over shit, all right? This is New Line Cinema. We make our money with horses jumping over. Have you seen Lord of the Rings? That's what we do. Anyway, lame as hell. Anyway, I'm sorry, guys, that made us watch this movie. Well, at least I'm sorry to myself because, I could have done better. So, but I'm glad Morph got to watch it.
And I think you definitely. Like I said, not a favorite of mine. It's okay. Like, it's watchable, but it's not a yearly. I guess, yeah.
I guess that's what's so weird about it for me, because it used to be kind of up there, not in the top 5, but maybe in the top 10. But like now, after watching it again, I'm like, really? Top 10? Oh no. Maybe it's just because I'm a crusty old man now. That's very true, and I just don't believe in Christmas anymore. There you have it. I'm just gonna take this thing out back for firewood.
It seems like you've had way more return on this than me. I'm just was barely aware of it before, and now I'm more
okay,
mildly
but this is
aware
your
of
maiden voyage. That doesn't count. This is your maiden voyage.
I didn't really feel like I lost anything.
Yeah.
It may just be that you have good taste and recognize that there are, in fact, better Christmas movies than this. Like, this one's
Are you saying that
middle of
about
the pack.
me? Because I've never. How dare you accuse me of such a thing, Zach? Having good taste. I mean, I don't know what to say to that. That sounds like fighting words. Anyway, well, it's been fun. At least it's a Christmas. We did a Christmas, everybody.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. You're right. Too funny, and it feels a bit like a checklist Christmas movie to me. So it's just nothing too novel.
Yeah. And you know what? Didn't even care about the Baby It's Cold Outside. Don't even, song. I can give a shit about that song. I think, Zach, if we gave out points, I would have given you a point that this is a controversy that doesn't exist. It was people who had probably never heard of the song before, got upset.
Yeah,
that,
it's
Gen Z on TikTok canceled it. Whatever,
two people said
really
something on Twitter, and the Fox News machine was like, the woke left is stealing our Christmas songs.
Right. Yeah, I do like that the Santa clashes in New York City. And I don't know if you guys have ever been in New York City during Christmas, but like Christmas is fucking everywhere in that goddamn island, everywhere. So like, if you're gonna land anywhere for Christmas spirit, you probably have a little bit of a boost. Just a bit, like, if you go to fucking, I don't know, Des Moines or something, probably not.
It's
that
unclear why Christmas spirit has been consistently being lowered over the years, in my opinion. It just kind of like is presented as fact, but like, why? I don't know. It just is.
Right. James
like
Caan's fault, I'm sure. It was
and like 80
fault.
people singing, bring it back. Like, all right, whatever.
All right. Well, that seems as good a time as any to wrap this show up. So yeah, this has been Elf. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, everybody. Tune in next time for Zach's bonus movie from the Halloween episode, RRR. Boy, does Borif have a lot of thoughts on it. I can already spoil that. I know Chris Borif has thoughts. So, yes. With that in mind, thank you for joining us. Merry Christmas. I hope you guys are having a good holiday. Be safe. Stay warm, and don't let the bastards get you down. That's your message for this new year.
Make sure to burn your Christmas tree. Come on, guys. We can do it this year. Burn your Christmas trees.
That's right. Biofluorocarbons, who cares about the environment? This thing's fucking plastic. Are you kidding me? This thing will go up like a
Christmas tree.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. That's right. I'm only 3 beers in, and I'm lit up like a Christmas tree, to quote B.B. King. All righty. I did want to say that I did appreciate that the screenwriter who wrote this back in 1993 was Jewish. So meaning that they understand Christmas far better than anybody else does. So I get it. And to steal a line from The Simpsons, Christmas is the time where everyone of all religions come together to worship Jesus Christ. So with that being said, I have been Russell Carlson, and I have been joined by Chris Borif.
I have been Chris Borif. Not an elf.
Okay, and I've also been joined by Zach Powers.
Instead of a line from the movie, I'm gonna be the weird elf costume that Jovi has to wear, and she's like a Stepford wife in that scene. Honestly, that last scene creeps me out. We didn't mention it, but just to get this in there, I feel weird about that scene. It seems like her personality has been destroyed, and she's like turned into a shell of a person. I don't like that, and the flash forward weirds me out.
Yes,
like this
agreed.
She's just serving them cookies or whatever, and she has to call them like Papa Elf. I don't know what's going on with her. It's bad.
For some reason, she's got to move to a compound in Guyana. I don't get
joined a cult.
That's right. Alrighty, and as we always say, especially on Christmas, Diane Ladd is too young to play Chevy Chase's mom.
It's the movie trap promise.
It's the movie trap holiday wish. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Okay, people, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., Santa's coming to town.
Santa! Oh, my God!
Santa here? I know him.